token is available or not. Okay. Now we can add more validations. What is the expiry on the client side? Whatever we are doing on the website, that logic we can do whatever logic we want to do. Okay. So I'm not like putting any extra business logic here. Just like to this scenario.
Now, question, what would be the life cycle of this token? Like, what was the expiry of this token?
So this token is expired by our like API. हमारा जो भी web का token expiry है the same token. Like if it is a 4 hour, it's a 4 hour, 10 hour, it's a 10 hour, and we get a refresh token as well.
Correct.
We have to add the same logic, whatever logic we have added on our React app. We have to copy paste the same logic of refresh token validation, and we can add it here as is.
Right.
It is a pure JavaScript core.
Right. Fair enough.
Okay. Now, as soon as you start like typing, like say, okay, I am sending an email to this guy. Now there might be a chances user can send an email to, okay, this is a one case, like, okay, and then I say, okay, like, okay, this is my lead and test lead, okay. So as soon as you send this thing, you just like look for the console. If I don't select anything and if I say, okay, send, okay, no track selected, so no data sent to the server. That's it, and we do any cleanup activity. So I'm just like sending these as a log messages so we can write our code at that place. Now because the counselor didn't selected that thing. Now we can do like what we can do. We can, if we sign in, we can by default check this box. So he doesn't want to do that thing, but that decision I want to leave it up to you. Like what is the business case? Like if user may sign in and then later on he can send some personal mails. So we don't want to capture that emails. So that's what we ask user to do it manually. Because there might be a chances he might sending some personal email and by mistakenly click track, which will be captured as a lead. Okay, so and now let's go, and this time I will select that, okay, this is captured lead. Okay, and this time I select this box, clean the console, and I say, okay, send. The email is sent and it says send data to server. In the send data, I am getting the contact object, whatever email, the email and name from that two item, and then dumping that to the API. Now I'm just like, I said, okay, I'm just like putting the logs, but now this data you need to push to our API. We have the token, we just need to call our add lead API, and that's it. Our job done. We have this data now.
Now, Pritamji, this email ID and name, like, how is it secure? Like, have you already passed it to the or to our API, or is anybody can view it on the like
this is just a log. Now मैंने जो token का login का API successfully call किया. Now I need to know what are the properties required for lead ID and all these things. There are a bunch of properties will be there, so I don't want to go into that. I said, okay,
got it.
Now you have this data, just call this data, pass this data.
Okay.
And this data we are capturing from the Google's context. Right, so because you have the access to your current email box, and our ID is exposing getting the data from the two field. Now there might be a chances the counselor can send an email like say, okay, Pritam, and then he decided, okay, let me add his friend, he might be also interested, and I'd say, okay, info@tamjoli, and sometimes he will say, okay, I'll put like one more guy who I don't want to tell his name, like say Pritham.Baldota. So now there is a Pritham at Pritham.Baldota info and Tamjoli, and this guy say, okay, create lead. So ideally what I think we should capture all these three email addresses and create three leads.
Right. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's what like we are doing. So you type in any field, and if you try to click send, this time you will see we pick up all the fields, like from 2, from BCC, from CCC. Now, no matter like how many email addresses you provided, we join all these collections and then provide the array of contacts. Oh boss, this is the contact, all the email addresses from 2 CCC and BCC. Now do whatever you want to do. Right? So this is one case. Now the second case is what they have to do now. Now once they send this email data to our server, now it is our API's job to check whether to add lead or update lead or do whatever thing, because they have the leads. And at the same time we will be sending the title and the email body if you want to send that. So I don't know whether that is a requirement or not, whether we want that information, but yes, this is the stuff. This is one part of the scenario, like Twinflow.
Correct. करेक्ट.
So do
इसमें
you have any questions on this?
no no
Yeah,
so
yeah.
इसमें प्रीतम जी ये बताए कि when this mail is going and the lead is getting created, right? So the content of the mail should also come as what I have sent to that guy, right? In the view email.
Yeah, we can send that. Yeah, we can send that data.
Right,
That's not
right.
a problem.
So we have
I
to
will.
do that because tomorrow if a lead replies back to the same email, we need to track that thread that
Right, right.
and on
Yeah.
the same
So,
email.
so that's what. Like, so we don't need to worry about that because we don't want to capture what body or what message user has typed.
Right,
Right.
right.
So whenever we are capturing this data, we are capturing the mail Google server's email message ID and the thread ID. Okay, so what is that? This. Okay, send data to server plus message ID
Right.
plus thread ID. So this information is already being passed. So now if you so we don't, I don't, so I think like I thought like your text might not be important because we want ID. We just want to identify whether this is our thread or not.
Right.
So for that, the ID is more than enough. Like say, okay, I'm just now sending this email. This is demo ID, and then I say, okay, click and send.
PMG, you have
So now
you have changed the code and compiled it, right? And this is running
This
on
is-
Gmail. तो ये कैसे रन कर रहा है, मतलब कहाँ से रन कर रहा है ये?
I'll tell you. So if
Okay.
you see, this is the unique ID of the specific email what I sent to that user, and this ID is from Google. So this is a Google's ID. This ID, if you put this ID, then you can be able to identify the thread. Now this is a thread ID, right? So let me copy these details.
Correct. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So these are the some now SDKs this our folks needs to like do. Okay. So now reply to this thread. Okay. Okay. So now
You
Where
get
is
back
this
the
ID?
same thread ID and wow. Okay.
no, this is the different like that user has to reply to that. Yeah. So what is that user? Okay, it is the same. So that's how you capture. We just capture this ID and thread ID, and then whenever that somebody replies to that thread, the ID becomes the thread ID becomes the same, but the message ID becomes changed every time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what like I think like we just need to capture the IDs. We don't need to capture the text. But yeah, if you want to capture the text, I will expose that property, and then we can store the subject and body as well in our system.
Yeah. From a business case point of view, when a counselor is sending a lead to a particular person, he ticks that tracking the lead is getting created. Correct. Now, in
Right.
case a guy sends him an email and he replies back to an email and he ticks, and again the two में अगर वो है वो lead नहीं है तो वो create हो जाएगा. Correct.
Right.
Now, in case if the lead already exists in ExtraEdge and he's replying back to the lead and the tracking is on, then the copy of the thread would be exposed on the on ExtraEdge where we could click and we could read what was that copy, right?
Right.
Okay, ठीक है.
So we now next scenario, how the next scenario will be. So say for example this user is replied. Okay. Now the next scenario will come into the picture where as soon as user open this email, then we know, oh, this email has been open and what is the ID of that email. Like ID is 123. And then we get this ID and pass this data to our server. Like, okay, this email is open with so and so ID. Now it is our job to check, oh, if this ID is present in our system associated with some of the lead. Yes, if it is available, then create an activity or do whatever.
Pritam ji, so in this case, we can also identify and intimate the user that whenever he's sending a lead to a particular student, right? A email to a particular student who happens to be a lead in his business, right? And if he's not using a mail tracker or any kind of tracker inside Gmail, which most of the people do not use, then he can know that when his email has got clicked and opened, isn't it, from our end?
Yeah, you can know. From our end, we know. Like as soon as you open, that's where we will capture. Oh, just get these details, pass this detail, and that's what we say. Okay, this time is open, this time is closed. We can capture whatever we want.
ठीक है. Okay.
But then one thing, regardless of like this thread, because we cannot pull the data from Gmail, and we don't want to go with that approach. So it will be on demand, as we discussed. Like for example, कल कोई एक Uber का भी email खुलता है, right? So we will still send this message ID and details to our system. कि boss, okay, the message open. But yeah, during this event, we should not create a lead. We should only check if the lead is exist, if the message ID is present, then create activity or do whatever it thinks.
Correct.
अगर हम इसको भी lead करने बैठे, then what we'll do, we will unnecessarily like
No,
not
at all.
Yeah, create these things which is illegal. Which is wrong.
On read we'll just compare whether that lead is there
हमारे
in the
पास है
system
वही करो,
or
उसको
ignore
activity
it.
करना.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this second piece I want to keep it open and let team to manage it, because SDK is already there, the code is there. I have written some of the handlers, like say for example send पे क्या होना चाहिए, and put some rudimentary HTMLs so they can easily replace this HTML with beautiful HTMLs. Yeah.
तो प्रीतम जी एक बार थोड़ा आर्किटेक्चरली मेरे को समझाओगे कि कैसे क्या मतलब what approach have you taken right इसमें?
Okay, so we are using add-in called Inbox SDKs to communicate with the Gmail stuff, and the approach is simple. Like we're just like creating this as a manifest, because every Google extension, Gmail extension has their way of working it, so it has to be in their format only.
No, I'll tell you why I'm asking this. The reason I'm asking is this, because lately Gmail has made a lot of changes, if you have noticed, right? So they have completely revamped their UI for normal users. They have changed the way it works. So I am sure at the API and add-on levels also there must be a lot of changes that have happened.
So that's why what we are doing here, we are not using a Gmail native API. We are not using those. Yeah, we are using a wrapper API, which is a company, third-party company, which is working. And I think I've read about that. A lot of Google people are working with them to help them. So okay, let me. Okay, go. Okay, this is a inbox.
Correct,
right?
Correct. I know.
This is not like our Gmail normal. And let's say now I don't know how do we send an email from here. Compose.
Compose. Idhar compose. Idhar Pritam ji, near my WhatsApp Skype icon there is a compose.
Okay. Sorry.
Plus.
So
material design use किया है इन्होंने, वही the base concept of material design.
Now let me. Okay, there's one thing where the documentation says it will always work with the Gmail inbox as well, but I don't know. I'm not seeing this stuff here. But anyways, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
So we are using that SDK which will wrap all this stuff, and they said okay, whenever there is a changes with the Gmail API, they will sync underline API and they expose the wrapper call. Okay,
because what is happening is that Gmail is pushing people to upgrade to this new system. I think it's like inbox, and they are
right.
asking the user to shift into. So एक बार we also need to check the compatibility, and you are right, they never remove that and these kind of things, but then we should एक बार check.
Right. So yeah, that's what it is. So
from a
then I just
coding
use those
standpoint,
SDKs
from a coding standpoint, you have taken a inbox का SDK and you have used the wrappers or manifest, और यहाँ पर आपने उसके ऊपर build किया है, right, अपना custom logic.
Yes.
Okay.
And Gmail extension has its own way of creating the extensions. Like you cannot use the inline scripts. You cannot use the third party APIs scripts to download inline. So that's what they recommend. Okay, you have to package everything with you, like jQuery, all these things. And for this thing, even we could have used the React and all these things, but it really doesn't make sense for us right now, right? Because anyways, it is going to host in the Gmail's ecosystem, not in our ecosystem. So what is the best efficient way? Then okay, I just use the jQuery, because it just speed up the development time, and we don't care about the perf and all this thing because it is packaged in the Gmail stuff. And a lot of extensions, they are using jQuery because we need to do a lot of DOM manipulation here.
Right.
Here rendering doesn't make sense. We are not re-rendering list or all these things. We just want a fast DOM manipulations, DOM selections.
Right.
So whatever the libraries you want, you just package, and you need to provide the permissions.
Which is the function and the things which is taking care of the authentication part. वो कहाँ पे हो रहा है? module.js में हो रहा है ना वो?
Yes, यहाँ पे.
हाँ.
Now the beautiful part यहाँ पे क्या कर सकते हैं? Generally ये मतलब what I did here, one good thing कि you have these are the files which will be packaged with our extension.
Correct. हाँ हाँ.
Okay, अगर अभी app.js, बट अगर app.js में देखोगे ना बस इतना ही कोड है अपना, खत्म, और कुछ नहीं है. So I did the same approach जो हमने वेब एनालिटिक्स चैटबॉट के लिए लिया है, बिकॉज ये जावास्क्रिप्ट हम हर बार चेंज करेंगे तो हम हर बार एक्सटेंशन नहीं अपडेट करते बैठेंगे जीमेल के सर्वर पे, राइट? दैट्स टू मच ऑफ मेंटेनेंस वर्क फॉर अस. So what I am doing here, I am saying ki boss, load this extension if it is a Gmail and inbox. I don't know why it is. Okay, let me just check. It should work for this as well. Inbox.google.com. Inbox.google.com. It should work for them. But I will check it out.
Sure, yeah.
So here I'm checking कि ये अगर डोमेन है तो तुम हमारा लीड ट्रैकर ऑन करो. And what I'm just doing, I'm saying कि boss, load this dynamic scripts. Now my entire logic is written on our server. So कल को मैं अपने सर्वर पे ये फाइल रिप्लेस कर दूंगा ना, अपने आप सारा एक्सटेंशन अपडेट हो जाएगा. I don't need to worry about कि Gmail पे फिर से नया वर्जन डालो ऐप का.
Perfect.
So this is the only code for finish. 19 line का कोड है Gmail में.
So basically if we need to update our extension with some custom business logic, we just need to change the module.js at a location, give the correct path, and then they'll just download it and it would work, right? Simple.
Yeah, so ये पाथ हमारा सर्वर का रहेगा, हमारे CDN का रहेगा, ब्लॉब स्टोर का रहेगा, right? So the way we are doing right now कि client जो भी client configuration file हम ब्लॉग पे अपलोड किया, that's it. That's what we have to do. कि just upload this file onto our server and we really don't need to worry because every time Gmail loads this thing, it will load the latest file.
Correct.
And that's why you see कि मैंने अभी जैसा यहाँ पे change किया and I didn't do any changes in this file. Still you can see the updated change, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So it is the same approach. So that हमारा maintenance almost like as good as zero हो जाएगा unless you are changing this logic.
Yeah.
Less probability, very less probability because इसमें कुछ है ही नहीं. तुम बस एक सर्वर का लोड कर रहे हो and then entire logic is in this code. That's it. And then here you are calling. Okay, जैसे मेरा फाइल लोड होता है, मेरा एक फंक्शन कॉल कर दे जो इनिशियलाइज मेथड है. And I don't care now. Rest what is written in that method, you take care of behind the scene. Okay. So from the scale point of view, we don't need to worry about this part now. Now the next piece is the critical piece is the publishing this package to the store, which I will start. While team is working, I will start working on that because they have their own startup. Okay, we have to pay some fees to the Gmail and then upload our extension, so it will be available into a Gmail store.
Correct.
For the Google as a Google extension, and then people can download it from there.
Right. ये जो प्रीतम जी बताओ, इस केस में ये हमारा module.js जो है हमारा, आप उसमें आओगे एक बार? modules.js, राइट. इसके अंदर हमने अपना पूरा लॉजिक लिखा है, राइट, कैसे काम करेगा. Okay.
Right.
Now, here in the case that the basic level of authentication वगैरह and all those things which will happen here, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely right.
The auth failure, auth success and things, how we log in and things will, okay. And this token and things that will get generated, that would get validated from here, right? जो enter कर रहा है वो यहाँ पे.
Right.
Okay, ठीक है. तो मेरे API calls यहाँ पर हो रहे हैं.
टोकन वैलिडेशन का काम तो हमारा सर्वर करेगा.
सर्वर कर रहा है, नहीं API calls हमारे यहाँ पे हो रहे हैं, module.js में हो रहे हैं.
Yes, absolutely. अगर हम देखोगे कि यहाँ पे लिखा है, for example, load auth view, on click आ गया, register sign in event, okay. So
correct, got it.
show in dialog and then
is logged in है, वो check कर रहा है.
Oh sorry, यहाँ पे validate credentials. Yeah. So this method is doing this our API call, like this piece of code is doing our API call. Okay, go to this data and whatever user ID pass किया है, pass करो. If it is successful, then success का method call करो, and then in success we are saying okay, do this token and then replace the UI blah blah stuff.
Right.
So this piece is doing the validation. ऐसे और एक method लिखना होगा कि send data to server या send lead to server. Correct. And then do another API call. On that, like send button. जहाँ पे मैंने console log कर रहा हूँ, instead of that, you can write the entire logic and call this function, and then we are good. Yeah. So सारा पूरा business logic इसी एक ही फाइल में है, सारा everything. So even like Gmail box में उसके registration handler की starting में उसका life cycle में कौन से event register करने हैं. So ये compose box के साथ में है. Then later on, whenever the other devs they are working with the inbox, तो यहाँ पे हमें compose जगह पे message view के लिए करना पड़ेगा events. जो email read करने के बाद जब हम बोल रहे हैं कि click करने के बाद, तो उसके लिए अलग events रहेगी. So they have to register those events. and then they have to write or wire up all their entire logic into this, like this stuff.
राइट, तो इसमें प्रीतम जी ये बताइए कि फ्रॉम अ डेव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू व्हाट आर द कंसिडरेशंस with our existing code base? With our existing code base, will it be a separate project like chatbot altogether, or will it be like how this would be?
No, it will be completely separate project, right? Nothing to do with the chatbot, or it should be completely in its own repository. It doesn't have anything. It just like have like bunch of 3-4 files, and वैसे ही उनको एक repository बनाना है, and then they can just like maintain this as a separate project. It should be an isolated project.
ठीक है, नहीं ठीक है ना प्रियम जी. तो इसमें बेसिकली व्हाट आई वांट इज दैट इस बार इंस्टेड ऑफ सागर और खुशी आई वांटेड टू इन्वॉल्व दिस इंटर्न हु हैज बीन वर्किंग फॉर 5 months कॉल्ड शुभम. ही इज डूइंग प्रीटी वेल. तो मैं चाह रहा था कि ही एंड सागर बोथ बी देयर इन द हैंडओवर एंड थिंग्स. आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड देम टुडे दैट हाउ दिस होल थिंग विल वर्क एंड व्हाट आर द कंसिडरेशंस. सो I would want them to get involved. और Wednesday को आपके availability के according Wednesday morning और Wednesday evening we'll have a call where you could explain them the code base and things, and then in the meanwhile what I'll do, I'll start to create the test scripts. So जो test scenarios हैं क्या क्या होंगे इसको टेस्ट करने के लिए, और इसका एक जो requirement doc था उसको मैंने अपडेट कर दिया है, तो उसको और मैं अपडेट करता हूँ अपनी तरफ से, because I have to give this for regression कि ये कैसे होगा. So I'll start to do that, and इसमें बस आप एक चीज चेक कर लो कि with the changing APIs of inbox and how they are
figure out like why this
वो आप देख लो कि
API already supports that. It's just matter of they just
because अगर वहां पर प्रॉब्लम आएगा then the team will get
code now.
वहां पर अगर प्रॉब्लम आएगा then there would be a hard stop यहाँ पे, right?
So आपका लास्ट स्टेटमेंट ब्रेक हुआ.
हाँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि वहां पर अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगा then it would be a hard stop. वहां फिर हम कुछ कर नहीं पाएंगे. वहां पे
कहाँ पे?
अगर एपीआई और ऑथेंटिकेशन में कुछ अगर प्रॉब्लम अगर दूसरे वर्जन पे इनबॉक्स पे अगर वो नहीं चल रहा है, कुछ दिक्कत हो रही है, तो एक बार आपको
तो मतलब क्या है, वो तो मतलब हम रिलाई कर रहे थर्ड पार्टी एपीआईज पे, वी हैव टू लाइक फिगर आउट एंड देन
तो एक बार आप सिर्फ इनबॉक्स पे देख लो कि क्या हो रहा है, एंड देन वी शुड बी ओके. आई मीन लाइक पीपल वुड टेक टाइम टू शिफ्ट फ्रॉम दिस एंड वी शुड बी ओके. विल सी हाउ इट वर्क्स आउट. कुछ और वक्त तो लगेगा.
बट मैक्सिमम केस में अभी तो इनबॉक्स को यूज नहीं कर रहा, राइट? तो विल स्टार्ट विद दिस पायलट. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम पीपल यही यूज करता है. बाय द टाइम विल फिगर इट आउट कि इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम आया है, एंड देन दैट शुड बी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. एक्चुअली इट शुड नॉट बी दैट क्रिटिकल.
नहीं, क्योंकि मैं आपको बताता हूँ, आई एम यूजिंग things like Yesware and all those kind of products, right, which sit on top of Gmail. Streak is a perfect example of using it, right? Streak also works on inbox, I have noticed.
Okay. Yes. ये उन्हीं का है कंपनी है, like they have the same folks actually.
क्या बात कर रहे हो? Streak and Streak is
they have the same folks actually.
Streak and Google are the same people.
No, Streak जो भी हमें इनबॉक्स यूज कर रहे हैं ना, इट्स कम आउट ऑफ द स्ट्रीक प्रोडक्ट, एंड देन दीज फोक्स दे मेक इट एज अवेलेबल फॉर अदर पीपल्स टू यूज इट. इट्स देयर फ्रेमवर्क.
सो स्ट्रीक इज एक्वायर्ड बाय गूगल. क्या वैसा है क्या सब कुछ?
नहीं, एक्वायर्ड बाय नहीं है, बट ये जो इनबॉक्स जो एसडीके हम यूज कर रहे हैं ना वो, एंड देन लॉट ऑफ गूगल फोक्स आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, हेल्पिंग द इनबॉक्स एसडीकेस टू बिकम लाइक a pretty good
अच्छा
wrapper for their APIs.
नहीं, it's a very popular tool, Streak, now. ठीक है ना, fair enough. ठीक है प्रीतम जी, I think this is pretty good, and what I'll do is that I'll set up a call with the team very quickly, और उसके बाद we can quickly start looking at it from a implementation standpoint. I think looking at what I see, बहुत टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए, फटाफट रोल आउट हो जाना चाहिए. ओके, कुछ करने का नहीं है इसमें. फ्रॉम अ डेटाबेस साइड हमें कुछ प्रोविजन देने पड़ेंगे, कुछ नए कॉलम्स वगैरह ऐड करने पड़ेंगे, या कुछ यहाँ पे
वो थोड़ा बहुत करना पड़ेगा, लाइक कि ये जीमेल की मैसेज आईडी, थ्रेड आईडी कहीं ना कहीं तो स्टोर करने पड़ेंगे ना हमें.
ठीक, फेयर एनफ. नहीं ठीक है, थिंक सागर विल टेक केयर ऑफ दैट.
या ओके. So I hope like this is end of the story for this like Gmail box. Then I will not be spending much time on it now.
आप बस एक Wednesday को handover दे देना, and the guys will take. In case they have any problem, they'll discuss with you. But then we can quickly wrap this up यहाँ पे. Okay. और वेंसडे आई सजेस्ट योर टाइम अकॉर्डिंगली आप बताइए आप कब अवेलेबल रहेंगे. सो व्हाट इज बेटर फॉर यू, अर्ली मॉर्निंग आवर टाइम और इवनिंग दिस टाइम, विच इज बेटर फॉर यू?
हमारा जनरली लाइक मॉर्निंग 10:30 को मैं, बट आई थिंक बिफोर 10:30 आई थिंक योर 10 o'clock टाइम वुड बी गुड, लाइक अराउंड 10:30.
ओके, या 10:30 इज परफेक्ट. 10:30 मॉर्निंग इज परफेक्ट. वेंसडे को हम कर सकते हैं इसको.
नहीं सॉरी, आपका मॉर्निंग बोल रहे हो आप या आपका इवनिंग?
आप बताइए ना, मतलब ये अब मेरे दोनों ओके है लाइक.
सो आई थिंक आपका 10:30 इवनिंग, वेडनेसडे इवनिंग करेंगे.
हाँ ठीक है, 10:30 रात को ना वेंसडे को. परफेक्ट. I'll एक बार चेक विद द गाइज एंड देन सेंड यू अ मीटिंग इनवाइट. तो हम एक बार इसको रैप अप कर सकते हैं इसको फटाफट.
राइट.
ठीक है प्रियम जी, आई थिंक इट साउंड्स गुड. तो लेट्स गेट क्रैकिंग ऑन इट. एंड आउटलुक का आप इसके बाद देखने वाले हैं ना?
Yeah. So first, before Outlook, I need to, like, if somebody wants to take the publishing this extension to the Play Store, then I can completely start Outlook and I'll leave the.
तो पब्लिश करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ता है? मतलब बेसिक फॉर्म भरना पड़ता है, वही करना?
There is a process, like, Google का कि इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं रहेगा, but it's a process. तुम्हारा पैकेज करो प्रॉपरली, जो भी ये मैनिफेस्ट है, then pay their initial amount and then do the process. They should be having a pretty decent documentation. Just a matter of time to just like figure it out.
ठीक है, ओके. नहीं तो आई थिंक लेट्स रैप दिस अप. आप इसको एंड टू एंड, मतलब होता है ना कि इसको पब्लिश का भी को जो भी है आप कर दे अपने तरफ से. I'll spend time more on designing this clear business case for the QA team, how they could check, how they could test, and also for the developers to tell them कि क्या changes करने क्या नहीं करने. I'll just walk them through it and when they start to it. So I'll focus more on that, how to roll it out to the customer. Okay. ठीक है ना? Okay प्रीतम जी, sounds good. Okay then. चलो, okay, चलो, bye.